image from Google Earth. It's getting some buzz. It shows an area of Antarctica that some people claim clearly has pyramids covered in snow.
Antarctica isn't just frozen, it's haunted by secrets. A colossal squid lurking in the deep, a forest frozen mid-bloom, and a perfectly carved doorway in the ice that looks anything but natural. Scientists are stunned. Conspiracies are growing. And under the silence, something stirs. Stay with us as we count down the 20 most disturbing discoveries beneath Antarctica's ice. Lake of the Lost. Deep beneath Antarctica's ice, where sunlight's never reached and temperatures dropped to brutal lows, something impossible was found. Mummified sea creatures buried in ancient lakebed sediments. Yeah, you heard that right. Perfectly preserved marine life trapped under miles of solid ice for hundreds of thousands of years. These weren't just fossils. Scientists pulled up jellyfish-like organisms, soft tissues still intact, from hidden subglacial lakes like Lake Vostok. That's the kind of preservation that should not happen in conditions this harsh. It's like nature hit pause on life itself. But here's where things go next level strange. These creatures were found in freshwater, cut off from the ocean for millennia. So how did marine organisms end up there in the first place? Did these lakes used to connect to an ancient sea? Or were they part of a lost ecosystem no one ever knew existed? Some researchers are calling it a glimpse into Earth's past. Others? They're whispering about alien-like biology, organisms evolving in total isolation, untouched by the surface world. The government's keeping a tight lid on full access to these lakes too, which only fuels speculation. And if mummified jellyfish are hanging out under the ice, what else is down there? Still alive? Antarctica's frozen lakes are more than just cold. They're time capsules, or maybe even biological vaults. Bloodfalls Mystery. Something deep beneath Antarctica's frozen crust is bleeding, and it's not a metaphor. For real, how does blood-red water gush from ancient glacial ice in one of the most remote corners of the planet? We're talking about Bloodfalls, a straight-up eerie crimson waterfall pouring from the Taylor Glacier in East Antarctica. This creepy-looking outflow has baffled scientists and sparked conspiracies for over a century. At first glance, it looks like nature is wounded. But what's really going on under all that ice? It's not actual blood, but it might be something even weirder. The waterfall gets its color from iron-rich, super salty water trapped beneath the glacier for millions of years. When that water finally finds a crack to escape and hits the air, boom! Oxidation turns it bright red. Think rust, but on a freaky, massive scale. But here's where it gets wild. This liquid came from an ancient, sealed-off body of water buried under layers of solid ice. It's been isolated for so long, scientists are still shook about what's living in there. We're talking microbes that thrive without sunlight, oxygen, or any of the cozy conditions life usually needs. Some folks even say this could be proof of how life might exist on other planets, like Mars. And yeah, cue the alien theories. Bloodfalls isn't just a bizarre natural wonder. It might be the key to understanding life beyond Earth. Or it's something the world's not ready to know. Wilks land anomaly. What if there's something massive, mysterious, and totally out of place buried deep beneath Antarctica's ice? Something that doesn't show up on the surface, but messes with gravity itself? We're discussing about the Wilks land anomaly, one of the most mind-blowing discoveries ever made under the Antarctic ice sheet. This isn't just some cracked glacier or frozen fossil. We're talking about a gravitational and magnetic freak zone over 150 miles wide, buried under 2 miles of solid ice. Scientists detected it using satellite data, and what they found? Straight up bizarre. The anomaly causes shifts in gravity and magnetic pull in ways that just don't add up. Some experts think it could be the remnants of a colossal asteroid impact, maybe the one that wiped out the dinosaurs. Others? They're leaning into much wilder territory, like a buried megastructure or even something not exactly natural. And here's where the conspiracy train leaves the station. With all the military interest in Antarctica and restricted zones popping up near this exact area, people are wondering, what's really going on down there? No one's confirming anything, but the secrecy and strange science have people raising eyebrows. So is this just an unexplained natural blip, or is there something buried beneath the ice that the world's not ready to dig up yet? Martian rock secrets. Okay, here's something that'll blow your mind. Chunks of Mars, straight up chilling in Antarctica. Yeah, you heard that right. Antarctica isn't just home to penguins and frozen wastelands, it's literally hiding rocks from another planet. These aren't your average space pebbles either. Scientists have found over 24 Martian meteorites buried in the ice, and some of them are packing serious secrets. One of the most famous, ALH 84001, was discovered back in 1984, and it's been causing a major stir ever since. Why? Because inside that ancient rock are tiny structures that look suspiciously like fossilized bacteria. We're talking potential evidence of alien life, people. The kind of discovery that should have changed everything. But instead, it got swept into a fog of scientific debate, government hush-hush, and we need more data stalls. And Antarctica's icy grip preserves these meteorites better than anywhere else on Earth. So why does this frozen desert keep attracting space rocks like it's some kind of cosmic magnet? Some folks say it's coincidence. Others? They're not buying it. There's a theory floating around that these Martian rocks didn't just land here. They were put here, hidden, stored, studied, maybe even covered up. Something fell from Mars, and it ended up in the coldest, most remote place on Earth. Why? Antarctic Pyramid Mystery. Hold up. Why are there pyramids in Antarctica? Yeah, this one's got people seriously tripping. Satellite images show giant pyramid-shaped formations sticking out of the Antarctic ice. Perfect angles, sharp edges, geometric shapes that don't exactly scream random nature. So naturally, the internet went nuts. Some scientists are calling them nunataks, basically mountain peaks that poke through the ice. But how many mountains look like textbook pyramids from the sky? These formations are in one of the most locked down, remote areas on Earth. You're not just going to walk up and check it out. And with all the restricted airspace and classified research out there, folks are wondering, are we looking at the remains of a long-lost civilization? Some even think these could be ancient structures built thousands of years ago, before Antarctica froze over. Yeah, we're talking Atlantis-level theories. Maybe humans lived there. Maybe something else did. And what if these pyramids weren't built at all, but left behind? Add in the fact that mainstream scientists keep brushing it off like it's no big deal.
Perfect, just like those in Egypt. But they dwarf those in Egypt, like the Great Pyramid.
And boom, you've got a recipe for conspiracy fuel. Whether it's just freaky geology or proof of a buried history nobody wants us to know about, one thing's for sure. Antarctica is hiding way more than ice. Earth's deepest secret. Antarctica just dropped one of the wildest bombshells in geography, and barely anyone's talking about it. Beneath all that ice lies the deepest land point on the planet that isn't underwater. Yeah, on land, but 3,500 meters below sea level. That's over 2 miles deep. Thanks to the Bed Machine project, a high-precision mapping mission using satellite data and ice-penetrating radar, we now know the Denman Glacier Trough is hiding a gaping chasm that almost no one knew existed. But this insane geological trench was completely invisible until very recently. So how the heck does a hole that deep stay off the radar? And why did it take decades to uncover? This isn't just a cool science find. It's raising some big red flags. Why is such a massive scar on Earth's surface hidden in one of the most restricted and surveilled areas in the world? People are starting to ask the obvious. What else could be down there? Some theorists say the Denman Trough might not be a natural formation at all. Could it be the collapsed roof of a massive underground structure? Or even an access point to something humanity was never meant to find? One thing's clear. This isn't just a hole in the ground. It's a doorway to the unknown. AI versus Antarctica. So now even artificial intelligence is getting pulled into the Antarctica mystery? Yeah, and what it's uncovering is turning heads, and not in a chill way. Researchers at Stanford just used AI to dig into satellite data from Antarctica. And guess what? It exposed a whole new layer of bizarre ice behavior that no one saw coming. We're talking about unusual, unpredictable shifts in how the ice moves, melts, and reshapes itself, stuff traditional models completely missed. But here's the thing. If AI is only now figuring this out, what else have we been blind to? How can the most studied continent on Earth still be hiding this much? These discoveries are messing with decades of climate science. Ice is supposed to flow in a certain way, but under Antarctica, it's doing its own thing. It's like something beneath the surface is changing the game. Naturally, conspiracy theories flare up. Is AI picking up hidden activity, secret bases, heat sources, or those long-rumored tunnels? We're being told this tech is just helping with sea level predictions. Is Antarctica's ice just melting, or is it revealing something it's kept frozen for centuries? Ice circle enigma. Well, this one's straight up weird. Massive, perfectly round circles showing up in the middle of Antarctica's ice shelves. We're not talking about sloppy chunks or random cracks. These are clean, symmetrical, bizarrely perfect formations etched deep into the frozen surface. And even NASA doesn't know what's causing them. Some scientists are tossing around terms like glacial pressure or natural ice phenomena to explain it away. But let's be honest, when you see something that looks like a literal giant stamp pressed into Earth's most remote ice, it practically demands a second look. These things don't show up just anywhere. They're appearing in extremely cold, highly stable regions, where ice shouldn't be moving like this. That's got some people thinking, are these impact craters? Subglacial sinkholes? Or something else entirely? Conspiracy theorists are having a field day. Some say these circles could be landing zones, or even signs of underground structures shifting. Others point to their precision and isolation as proof they're not natural at all. If these were found in a desert or forest, they'd be all over the news. But buried in the ice, far from public eyes, the mystery stays cold. Because when even NASA throws up its hands and says, "We're not sure," you know it's getting sketchy. Dino egg under ice. Antarctica just dropped a prehistoric bombshell, a giant ancient egg fossil buried deep beneath the ice. And not just any egg, this one's soft-shelled, massive, and totally out of place. Scientists are calling it Antarcticoolithus brody, but it sounds more like something out of a Jurassic horror movie. This egg is about the size of a football, and it's the biggest soft-shelled egg ever discovered. Experts believe it came from a giant marine reptile, maybe a mosasaur, basically a sea-dwelling beast from the Dino days. But here's the thing, this wasn't supposed to be here. Antarctica's been frozen over for millions of years. So how did a creature that laid this thing survive in what's now an icy wasteland? Some are saying this fossil proves Antarctica used to be a lush, thriving ecosystem. Others? They're not buying the official story. This discovery has sparked speculation among researchers and enthusiasts alike. Some suggest it could indicate that prehistoric life persisted longer than previously believed. Others raise the possibility that similar creatures may have survived in isolation beneath the ice. The thought of ancient, large-scale species hidden in Antarctica's frozen depths continues to fuel curiosity and concern. And why has this discovery been kept so low-key? If this had been found anywhere else, it'd be headlining for weeks. But under Antarctica's frozen grip, it barely made a blip. Because sometimes, what's buried ain't exactly gone. Ice whispers from below. Okay, brace yourself. Antarctica is literally screaming from beneath the ice, and no one can fully explain why. Autonomous sensors planted deep inside the Ross ice shelf picked up bone-chilling, ghost-like whistling sounds. We're talking eerie, rhythmic vibrations that sound more like a horror movie soundtrack than anything natural. And yeah, scientists are calling it singing ice. But this ain't no lullaby. Some claim it's caused by shifting winds and surface snow changes, maybe even tectonic pressure. But if that's all it is, why does it sound so freaking unnatural? Like something's down there, trying to speak? These aren't one-off blips either. The sounds go on for hours, sometimes days, echoing from within the glacier, like a cry trapped beneath the earth. And the deeper researchers listen, the weirder it gets. The frequency patterns shift in ways that leave even the pros scratching their heads. Now cue the theories. Some believe these tones are signals, possibly linked to deep underground systems, tunnels, caverns, or something alive. Others even suggest we're picking up tech, ancient, alien, or just covered up. Why are we only just now hearing this? And why is so little attention being given to such a freaky, unexplained event? Because when the Earth starts making noises like this, it's not just weird, it's a warning. So, US forces lock down Antarctica. After drone finds nightmarish secrets in Antarctica, and what they saw will chill you to the bone. Hidden deep in the icy ridges, this massive metallic structure wasn't carved by nature, it was built. But by who? And why is the military sealing off the entire region just days after the discovery? Could this be tied to secret experiments? Or something not of this world? Drop your thoughts below. Monster of the deep. Antarctica just served up a real-life sea monster. And this time, it's not a myth. For the first time ever, scientists captured live footage of a colossal squid. Yes, the colossal squid, lurking in the icy depths near the South Sandwich Islands, right off Antarctica's coast. This thing is massive, terrifying, and has remained hidden from humans for over a century. Until now. We're talking jet black eyes the size of dinner plates, razor-sharp tentacles, and a body built like a deep-sea nightmare. It's one of the largest invertebrates on Earth, and no one knew how it behaved, or if we'd ever see one alive. But now, we've got footage, and it's straight up chilling. The footage was taken during a deep-sea dive using cutting-edge submersible tech, and the reaction from marine experts? Equal parts awe and what the hell is that thing? Some researchers are calling it a scientific breakthrough, Others are whispering about what else might be down there. See, this isn't just about one squid. It's about what its existence confirms. That the dark, freezing waters around Antarctica are still hiding creatures we can't even begin to understand. Because when monsters are real, Antarctica's no longer just cold, it's straight up terrifying. Fire under the frost. All right, now this one's wild. There are steamy, hidden caves under Antarctica's icy crust, and they're warm, like t-shirt weather warm. We're talking up to 25 degrees Celsius in a place that's supposed to be a frozen wasteland. These geothermal caves sit beneath Mount Erebus, Antarctica's active volcano, and they're turning everything we thought we knew about the continent upside down. Covered by thick ice, but steamy and isolated on the inside, these caves are basically secret underground greenhouses. Scientists believe these caves could be harboring unknown life forms, microbes, completely untouched by the outside world, possibly evolving on their own for who knows how long. No light, no wind, no exposure, just pure natural incubation. And let's not gloss over this. Isolated ecosystems like this are breeding grounds for weird, unpredictable biology. We're talking organisms that might not exist anywhere else on Earth. Some even say this is the closest thing we have to an alien habitat right here on our planet. Now, plot theorists are already jumping on this, suggesting these caves aren't just natural shelters, but maybe even entrances to something deeper. Ancient structures, secret research labs, lost civilizations. With all the restricted access to this area, who's to say what's really down there? If life's been cooking beneath the ice in total secrecy, how long before something crawls out? One thing's clear, Antarctica's not just cold, it's hiding fire, life, and maybe secrets we're not ready to face. Frozen forest reveal. Antarctica, home to ice, blizzards, and apparently an ancient forest buried deep beneath the frozen surface. Yeah, this isn't sci-fi, it's cold, hard, fossilized reality. Researchers uncovered tree stumps, roots, and even fossilized pollen under the ice, proving that Antarctica wasn't always a barren wasteland. It was once a lush green land, full of forests and life. That's right, rainforests once thrived where today's temperatures dropped to deadly lows. We're talking about trees that grew over 90 million years ago, when the continent sat farther north and the climate was mild enough to support dense vegetation. But here's where it gets strange. How did those forests survive with months of darkness every year? And how did they disappear so completely? Some say this is just the natural evolution of Earth's climate, but others believe something massive happened. Fast, a sudden freeze, a dramatic shift, or maybe even an intentional cover-up of a lost chapter in Earth's history. And get this, if forests existed here, who's to say something else didn't live among them? Ancient civilizations? Unknown species? Could Antarctica have been a cradle of early life wiped clean by cataclysm? The government-mandated research zones and restricted access to certain areas of Antarctica don't exactly help calm suspicions either. Because this isn't just about trees, it's about a forgotten world frozen in time. Hidden Grand Canyon. So here's something they didn't teach you in school. There's a canyon under Antarctica bigger than the Grand Canyon, and barely anyone's talking about it. It's called the Foundation Trough, and it was discovered lurking thousands of feet beneath the ice. Stretching over 215 miles long and deeper than America's most iconic gorge, this monster trench has been completely invisible to the human eye, until now. Scientists uncovered it using radar tech that scans through miles of ice. But here's where it gets weird. The scale of this canyon is absolutely bonkers, and yet it remains mostly unexplored. No expeditions, no deep dives, just quiet mentions in a few scientific journals. Sounds kind of shady, doesn't it? This thing is massive enough to hide entire cities, or something else. And the fact that it's buried under the most restricted, heavily monitored ice sheet on Earth? Yeah, folks are starting to ask, is this just a natural canyon, or the entrance to something way bigger? Some scheme theorists think it could be the remnants of an ancient cataclysm, maybe even a collapsed underground complex. Others say it's being kept quiet because it holds geological secrets that could rewrite history. And let's not ignore the elephant in the room. What happens when this ice melts? Could that canyon reveal more than just rocks and snow? Frozen virus time bomb. Here's one that'll make your skin crawl. Scientists have uncovered ancient viruses buried deep in Antarctic ice, and some of them we've never seen before. Yeah, these microscopic time capsules have been frozen for tens of thousands of years, some clocking in at over 40,000 years old, perfectly preserved, untouched. And now, thanks to rising global temps and melting glaciers, they're waking up. Researchers recently pulled viral genomes from ancient ice samples, and what they found? Straight-up alien-looking viruses, completely unknown to modern science. They might have infected prehistoric plants or animals, but we have no clue what they do in today's ecosystem. Some experts are brushing it off as a low risk, but let's not forget how fast things can spiral out of control. If one of these ancient viruses jumps into the modern food chain, or worse, into human contact, it could trigger a nightmare scenario. Think pandemic, but with something our immune systems have zero defense against. There are also questions around the limited access to certain ice core studies and research sites. Some speculate that the restrictions may stem from the sensitive nature of what could be preserved beneath the ice, rather than purely environmental or logistical concerns. Because once these ancient viruses thaw, there's no putting them back on ice. Zombie ice zone. Alright, this one sounds like it came straight out of a horror movie. Zombie ice has officially been confirmed in West Antarctica. And no, it's not some sci-fi stunt. This is real and it's creeping scientists out. We're talking about ancient slabs of ice that look solid on the surface, but underneath, they're already dead. Melting from below, breaking away from their glacial lifelines, and doomed to disappear no matter what we do. That's why researchers are calling it zombie ice. Because it's still standing, but it's got no future. But it's throwing off all the ice sheet models. From the outside, everything seems stable. But deep down, Antarctica's ice is rotting from the inside out, and nobody really knows how fast it'll collapse. If this zombie ice fully lets go, we're looking at catastrophic sea level rise, possibly meters of water flooding coastlines worldwide. Some believe these ice shifts are being tracked way more closely than the public knows, maybe even hidden behind restricted research zones and blacked out satellite data. Because when you've got ancient ice silently melting underfoot and the whole world standing on the edge, volcanoes under ice. So get this, Antarctica isn't just freezing, it's burning underneath. That's right. Scientists have found evidence of active subglacial volcanoes lurking beneath miles of ancient ice. And yeah, it's just as insane as it sounds. These hidden volcanoes are pumping out geothermal heat, slowly melting the ice from below. While the world's pointing fingers at climate change, turns out there's something a lot more explosive going on under the surface. Literally. We're talking about volcanic systems buried so deep, they've stayed off the radar for decades. But now, satellite data and seismic scans are picking up heat signatures and unusual melt patterns that scream underground eruption zones. And here's the wild part. Some scientists believe this subglacial heat is accelerating the collapse of major ice shelves, especially in West Antarctica. But let's be honest, why is this info only trickling out now? Why hasn't this been headline news? Cue the conspiracy theories. They could be the reason certain Antarctic regions are locked down tight. Antarctica is supposed to be the coldest place on Earth. So what's heating it up from the inside? Because if volcanoes are waking up under the ice, the real meltdown might be just beginning. Ocean current collapse. Something massive is shifting under Antarctica, and it's not just the ice. Scientists have just warned that the Antarctic circumpolar current, the most powerful ocean current on the planet, is slowing down fast. We're talking about a 20% drop in speed by 2050 if emissions keep spiking. That might sound like a me science stat, until you realize this current literally controls global climate. It moves heat, carbon, and nutrients around the entire southern hemisphere like a planetary conveyor belt. So if it breaks down, we're in deep trouble. What's triggering the slowdown? Antarctic ice melt. As more freshwater floods the ocean, it throws off the delicate balance that keeps this current flowing. But here's the twist. Some researchers think this isn't just a natural shift. They're hinting at external interference, geoengineering, experimental climate tech, or even cover-ups of ancient under-ice systems disrupting natural flows. And let's not ignore the timing. We're seeing wild weather patterns, ocean temps spiking, and now the engine that keeps the Southern Ocean in check is sputtering. If this current collapses, it could chain-react global climate chaos, from droughts to food shortages to full-on ecosystem crashes. As when the world's strongest current starts slowing down, that's not a red flag. It's a siren. The Antarctic door, a giant doorway, carved into the side of Antarctica's ice shelf. Not a joke, not Photoshop. This mysterious rectangular opening was spotted in satellite images, and it's got the internet going full detective mode. The formation looks way too clean, perfect angles, flat sides, and the kind of symmetry that nature doesn't usually mess with. It legit looks like an entrance to something hidden, or maybe something long forgotten. Now, scientists were quick to throw cold water on the hype, claiming it's just a natural result of glacial shearing and melting. But let's be honest, does that really look natural to you? That explanation's raising eyebrows. And for good reason, some theorists believe it could be a concealed bunker, an old military outpost, or even an access point to an underground facility, maybe one not built by us. With Antarctica's history of sealed-off research zones and limited access, This door has people wondering just how much of the continent is being kept under wraps. Why now? Why are satellite anomalies like this popping up more frequently? If there's a doorway, then what's behind it? Because when Antarctica starts opening doors, we better ask who or what it's letting out. Earth's hidden heat. All right, here's a mind bender. Antarctica's melting from the inside out, and it's not just volcanoes this time. Scientists have detected deep Earth heat pulses, yeah, literal bursts of geothermal energy, rising up beneath the ice sheets like some kind of underground heartbeat. These aren't just steady heat leaks. They're pulsing waves of thermal energy, coming from Earth's core, hitting specific zones and silently melting the ice from below. And the craziest part? They happen periodically, like something's triggering them. So let's ask the obvious. What's causing these deep Earth pulses right now? Why are they hitting under one of the most critical ice sheets on the planet? And why is no one really talking about it? Some scientists say these pulses are natural, part of ancient tectonic activity. But let's be real, timing's SUs. With Antarctica's ice already hanging by a thread, this feels less like coincidence and more like a slow, silent fuse being lit beneath our feet. Now here come the theories. Are these pulses awakening something buried? Is this natural geology, or signs of hidden energy systems, ancient tech, or something tampering with Earth's inner layers? All we know for sure is this. Antarctica's not just cracking from the surface, it's being cooked from below. If the Earth is sending out heat signals, who or what are they for? Antarctica's not just ice, it's a locked vault, and something inside is starting to move. Why the secrecy? And what exactly are we waking up beneath the frozen surface? Hit like, smash subscribe, and stay locked in.